welcome back.
Welcome back.
Today on episode 5, we are going to be talking about Millennial Burnout. Dun dun dun!
Enter the music.
So, I am Alyse.
My name is Taylor.
And earlier this year, maybe the end of last school year actually, I was really feeling like life was very routine, and my whole motto this year that I've been living by is I'm going to retire by the time I'm 35. And I think a lot of that actually has to do with my own feelings of burnout.
Right.
And so I happened to be on Facebook the other day. Mm-hmm. If you have not followed our page on Facebook, follow us. Yes.
YouTube.
Everything.
Subscribe.
Everything. I was on there, and one of my friends from college had actually posted this article that is entitled How Millennials Became the Burnout Generation, and that is by Anne Helen Petersen. I immediately got on and started reading this article. I was more so skimming, and since then I've tried to read. It's a very long article. I will tell you that.
Disclaimer.
Yes. Very relevant, and I definitely related to it. And so then I shared it with Taylor, and I was like, "Hey, I think this is something that we can talk about,
right?
Because it's something that I'm currently dealing with." And
same.
Yeah. And so basically in the article, what it boils down to is our generation, we have this feeling of we're like really hard workers, and we've had to work really hard for what we have compared to generations before us. We've had to be super competitive.
I think and also a different definition of hard work. I think other generations view hard work as actual physical hard work. Ours have been more of a mental hard work.
Yes.
Like our mental game has to be on point.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So one of the things that they point out is that we have these to-do lists that are just super
never ending,
freaking long. And
I mean, I don't think they even end.
No.
Because like once one goes off, another one's coming.
Something else is there. Yes, exactly.
Ugh.
And
I'm over here getting anxious talking about it. Really.
So, and on these to-do lists, they're not super challenging tasks. They're just mundane, normal life tasks.
Yep.
But for some reason, they're weighing us down. Some of the things that they point out in the article was a gentleman, I believe he's 27 years old, and registering to vote was his big challenge, you know? And he's like, it's not even that hard. I recognize that. I just mail in the form and find a place to go vote. But for some reason, he just could not.
Well, and he doesn't see
those tasks.
I mean, personally, I'm not registered to vote. I mean, I may in a different state that I used to live in. But I think he almost feels like, I mean, or I could speak personally, it's almost irrelevant. Like, it's literally like, it doesn't pertain to what is going to make me successful. So why do I even waste my time?
Yes.
I could be doing something else more valuable or worthy of my time than wasting the maybe 10 minutes that it will take.
Yes, and that was a huge point in that article, right? Is that we focus and prioritize tasks that we think are going to get us somewhere, or that are going to deeply benefit us personally. Mm-hmm. And if we don't see it as benefiting us personally in our like big scheme goals, then we don't prioritize it. And then it just ends up stacking up. So another one was a woman had a package that she said was sitting in her house for a year that she needed to mail.
Because there's stuff that we needed to
I know. We're going to tell you our to-do list, and And we haven't discussed this, so it'll be interesting to see what's over here. So another big one, and I definitely relate to this, your personal email inbox. So I feel like I look at so many emails at work that when it comes to looking into my personal email inbox, I'm just like, not to mention there's a lot of like spam emails or emails from different companies, you know, but I have emails right now that I need to respond to, and I just don't.
Or when I receive an email, I procrastinate. I legit read the email.
Yep.
I have time in that moment to respond to the email, and I won't.
Yep. Yes, totally. I'm terrible at reading them on my phone.
Yeah.
But I don't want to respond on my phone because I feel like I'm going to make a mistake, like in typing on my phone.
Right.
But then by the time I get home, the last thing I want to do is open up my personal laptop and respond to the email. I will open up my personal laptop and watch some Netflix though.
Okay.
And then there was another one, which is like, this one's phenomenal because this has to do with actually getting money back. But a gentleman was not turning in his reimbursement forms for, I think, some medical something rather.
Oh yeah, I remember reading that part.
And it was in the sum of like $1,000.
So he had to submit like forms to his insurance, I think, because he like had an accident or something, and he literally like wouldn't.
Yeah.
No, like that's thousands of dollars. I mean, I'm gonna say something that's on my list that is gonna save me $100, or it would save me $100. Thousands. I mean, $100 is a lot. That's groceries for a week. Oh, I have to add something. I just remembered. Oh, crap.
So I chose some like key phrases that really stood out to me and just I felt like were really poignant. So I'm going to just read them to you. Errand paralysis.
Ugh.
I feel like that is such a great way of phrasing it. You know, it's like, you know, you have to do these errands and you have these things on your to-do list, but you're just like frozen.
And you just won't do them.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, I don't feel like it.
An inability to complete seemingly basic tasks. So there was something in there about people from other generations actually will look at us and say, oh, you're lazy or what have you, because these are such basic tasks.
Right.
But for some reason, they're like the greatest hurdle.
Right. What is an example?
Of the basic tasks?
Yeah.
Well, like going to the post office to mail a box.
Oh, yeah.
Like, how hard is that?
Yeah.
But who wants to go to the post office?
Yeah. That was probably,
You just went to work. You worked your tail off. You got to hit up happy hour.
I mean.
And by the time you do that, post office is... No, I'm just kidding.
we don't hit up happy hour.
Not hitting up happy hour. No.
Like, but even those things, to me personally, like, that's a waste of my time. Like, ultimately, like, if I evaluate my day and what I seem as valuable per my time, like, I don't want to go to happy hour. Sometimes I don't even want to spend time with people. Like, let alone try to be a parent to my children. Like,
why go to happy hour when you got some 2-butt chuck right here?
What?
I got a whole bottle of wine for $3, y'all. Okay, hit up that Trader Joe's. I have no idea what
Trader Joe's for life, man. So, but we're not alcoholics. Like, but that's how it starts, though. Like, in this article, it talks about, you know, anxiety is normal. You get medicated. Or you self-medicate, which is not good.
Or go to therapy sessions, or you're trying to figure out how
or you need to go to therapy and you don't.
Yeah. Like, because that's on your to-do list.
Exactly.
And you don't have time for it.
Or you don't seem as valuable.
Yeah.
Like
that it's going to advance you personally.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. Because I feel like, you know, we all have the different levels of, you know, what we find paralyzing. Maybe I can go to the post office and maybe you can't, or something like that. But
it's individualistic to a certain extent. Yes.
And it's crazy.
Yeah. Millennials are between the ages of 22 and 38. So we
Yes.
are adults. And so I never really thought about this.
Me either.
But we use the term adulting.
Yes.
That was not around when we were younger.
I don't think so.
And
Because they were adults.
Because they just were, yeah.
They were.
But now it's like when we get a task that is adult life.
Or
we're like,
we're adulting.
Have to go adult.
Or there's like the shirts that say, I don't want to adult today.
Uh-huh.
Like, or...
You know why? Because we've been adulting since we were little.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have that leisure time and that we had to
We
grow
were
up, we
pushed
had to
in.
be competitive,
Right.
we had to go to test prep.
And the education system raised their standards and increased the time of being able to learn something. They put it at a younger age.
Yep.
Compared to our parents, our grandparents, they didn't have to learn what we had to learn in second grade.
Yes.
That was more like
Yes.
8th grade.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So they pushed it upon us. And I like how, this is not like a shot at, people who are not millennials, but,
Or is it?
No, I'm just kidding. I like how they say, you guys are lazy, you guys are this, why don't you guys do this? You guys parented us. Like, we
made us this way.
But really, I'm parenting my kids and I'm shaping who they are. And this world is in that mix.
Yeah.
And we're shaping our generations. We obviously are adulting now. So now we're realizing oh man, and this we haven't even thought about before. But it's so real.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost mind-blowing to me. When I was reading this article, I never, ever felt like anybody else had this problem.
Yeah.
Ever. I thought it was a personal, derived problem. Like, it was me and only me who felt this way.
Mm-hmm.
After reading this, I'm like, thank you, Jesus, because I am not alone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
that's how I was feeling.
It was so consuming.
Yeah. Towards the end of last school year, I think of years in academic school years.
Same.
Because that's my life.
Same.
Working in a school.
And then when you talk to other people who are not outside their school, you're like, last year. And then I'm like, no, not like 2018 last year. Like, let's say, I'm talking about last school year. And they're like, oh. And I'm like, oh gosh.
So last school year, I really started feeling like I would just wake up and fucking hate life. Like, I hated it. I hated the routine of waking up every morning, doing the same damn thing.
Right.
It just, and then, my boyfriend seemed fine. And so then, what do I think? Yeah, I think it's just me, and I think something's going on, and I'm like, what is wrong with me?
Right.
And there's nothing wrong. There is.
Right.
It's
There's
more
an
of a
issue.
societal, systemic issue. And so, let me read you a quote here from the article. I normally don't like to have my cell phone out, but for this I will. Burnout and the behaviors and weight that accompany it aren't, in fact, something we can cure by going on vacation. It's not limited to workers in acutely high-stress environments, and it's not a temporary affliction. It's the millennial condition. It's our base temperature. It's our background music. It's the way things are. It's our lives. And so that, for me, just was like, oh, I'm not alone.
Right.
It's the way that I operate because of how I was raised, the environment I was raised in, the society I was raised in,
Definitely.
the times, the financial times, the political times. It just really kind of helped me
bring it together.
At least to feel like, oh, I'm not weird. I'm there.
I'm not losing my mind.
Yes. I mean, I kind of probably.
I think we're all losing our minds around here, okay?
But hey, guys, here's another quote for you, and I thought it was really, really awesome. It says, our capacity to burn out and keep working is our greatest value.
There's some encouragement.
So, yeah, even though we are feeling this way, we have it within us that we just keep on trucking.
Right.
And that is our greatest value that we bring to the table. And this is just a side note, but, you know, in our office, we have some people, for example, that maybe it's burnout, maybe it's just they're truly sick, I don't know. Take a lot of days off from work.
Right.
If I am sick, I do not call in.
Me either.
Because ain't nobody got time for that. Because
True.
What's going to happen? The next day you're going to have
twice the amount of work.
Yes. And that I think is something that has been instilled in me. And so while I'm very proud of that, I think that we also, if others are feeling that way too, we also have to be aware that that is also a fault to a degree.
Right.
It is causing our burnout.
It is. And
we need to listen to our bodies, listen to ourselves.
Right.
Fuck the man. Take your day off, girl, okay? Okay. Life will go on.
It's not like literally F the man, okay? I mean, like, we're not encouraging things.
It's just.
I know.
It's like a power statement, like. No, okay.
No, it's fine.
Okay. We've talked about this idea of these to-do lists really holding us down and making us feel anxious. And this even actually came up in my book that I was reading, that Happiness Project.
Oh, yeah.
She mentioned that her to-do lists were affecting her happiness. Ooh. And so what she started doing was, when it was something that was, yes, it's mundane, yes, it's basic, but it would like literally take less than 5 minutes, she would do it right then.
Right.
Just to check it off the list, lower her anxiety level, and make her feel happier.
Right. Which I agree with.
I've been trying to do that sometimes. Same. However, it's just really hard because, again, like, if that's not what you want to be doing, then you put it off. So anyway, we thought it'd be really fun, though, to look at our own to-do lists. Taylor here said she actually had a to-do list.
I do.
I
probably had 3 different ones.
I don't keep to-do lists. They're all up top.
Yeah.
And maybe that's my problem, though.
Oh, fair.
Because I'm trying to keep it in my brain, that it weighs me down more than if I would put it on paper. Because if I put it on paper and I could physically check it off,
right?
Who knows? Maybe that would also
reduce
anxiety levels.
I don't know. I don't think so. Personally.
I bet you there's been a study. But hey. So my question to you then, in looking at your to-do list, I'm going to just stroke my beard while I think.
That's a true statement.
I love stroking my beard. I wish I had one. Maybe in another life.
There we go. Okay.
What is the one thing that has been on your to-do list the longest?
Okay.
What is it and how long?
Mine is, this is very, very personal, but is legit. Oh. So last year, I owed taxes. When I applied for like a plan, yeah. Because I didn't want to pay all of that up front. Like, no, I'm not about that life. Sorry, IRS. Anyways, so I applied for it. But when you do it through paper, they charge you $108 processing fee. And they charge it up front. I got the documents and I was like, are you kidding me? Like, are you really kidding me? You're going to make me pay to pay you.
Well, and also, you're going to make me pay when I'm telling you I can't pay.
Exactly. So, but what he said, or the people, right, when I called, they were like, oh, I was like, how do I not get this? Because that seems ridiculous. They said if you do it online and you set up your payment plan online, you have to do this online process, then it's like the system will waive it.
But you still haven't done it?
No.
Oh, Taylor!
That was...
T-Taurus! Taylor! K-Dog, T-Dog, Tay-Tay. I just...
So it saved me $108. And that was...
So did you didn't already pay the $108?
Yeah.
Oh, you paid it because you submitted the paperwork.
So
but once you go back and you do the online, then...
They're smart. Your first withdraw and payment towards your total is the fee. That's the first thing they take out. But he said if I did it as soon as possible,
it doesn't count now.
Like, probably not. I don't know. I know. I'm sorry. Anyways.
See, I don't fuck around when it comes to money.
See, to me,
like that $1,000 in reimbursements,
See, $1,000, I don't know.
I don't play.
I don't know.
So how long has that been on your to-do list?
Probably since, I don't know.
Since April of last year, then?
Yeah, probably. No, it was probably May.
Okay.
So what is that? May. 7 months. 12 minus 5. Whoa, okay, we're at 8 now.
Good thing I counted on my fingers. They never fail me.
Okay, Alyse, how about you?
All right. 2 years ago, we moved into this lovely house here. And, you know, when you move, your junk just moves with you.
True.
And so...
Except the last time I moved.
You got rid of...
Oh, yeah.
Well, and I'm pretty proud of myself. I did get rid of a lot of stuff. However, I still have a lot of junk. And that junk now is sitting out in our carport area. And so for the past 2 years, I've been wanting to get out there. And at this point, it's not even a matter of going through it. It's like, quite frankly, it's been 2 years and I haven't touched it. So
bye-bye.
I don't need it, right?
Yeah.
Like, sentimental value, nope.
Yeah.
But,
see,
yeah.
I don't think I have something that's like 2 years.
Oh, do you want to hear another one?
Sure.
Because I got a few that have been on here for some time. So, again, we moved in here 2 years ago. The house needed a lot of work. Basic work, though, like painting, okay? And the downstairs area, it was covered in wood paneling. So we went through and we painted. And so it is white downstairs for the most part. But there's a bedroom down there that I turned into like my dressing room.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't. There's like a 3-foot area. It's like 3 feet by
it's not painted.
2 feet. Not painted.
That's funny. Did you run out of paint?
I think I did. I believe.
She doesn't remember
because
it was.
this was, let's say, 1.5 years ago that I did that project, and I believe I ran out of paint. And when I went back, the paint was so old.
They couldn't match.
Yeah. So now, and this is why I know why I'm not painting it, and I will admit to it. I am afraid that when I use this new gray, that it's not going to match, and I'm going to have to paint the whole thing.
Does it give
and I'm avoiding.
Does it give you like anxiety when you go down there
No,
and you see
because
it?
I have a jewelry thing that I made out of a wood palette, and that is sitting like in front of most of it. But yes, it's a constant reminder that I did not finish the job. So it probably does give me some level of anxiety. I mean, it's like you were saying, like, I'm not going to have an anxiety attack over it, but it probably is bothering me.
It's just it's like adding more to your burnout.
Yes.
It's just literally like tiny little things that just add up. And then it's like, I need to sleep for 5 days. Like, it literally gets to that point. Like, you're like, I can't go anymore. Like, I can't.
So I just created this list today because, like I said, I keep everything in my head and I don't actually write it down. I totally just forgot the number, but I think it was 21.
So mine was 16. I actually remembered. But that's my 16 like to-do list. I have daily to-do list, like daily that I like. One is part of my goals, and two, like daily I have to be a mom. So like things that I think that really affect me, like that actually hold more weight than other things, like that $108, literally I don't feel any pressure. It's on my to-do list. So we do our laundry separate to some sort. But let me tell you, like coats, it's winter. Coats, hats, sweatshirts, shirts, pants, sweatpants, socks.
Okay, wait.
Hold up.
Okay, this kind of goes back to last episode, the talk on like how often you wash your bras and your pants and whatnot. And so you just mentioned coats.
Yes.
You wash those? Because I don't.
So one, not mine personally.
Okay.
I mean, yes. So whatever, my kids got lice 2 weeks ago. Struggle's real.
And then I thought I had lice because I gave her a hug.
That's another episode. But I don't normally wash my coats. But my kids' coats, yes, just because kids are dirty. Like literally, kids can get anything on their coats, on their like everything, their whole body. Like they're just dirty. They just are messy. Whatever. So it gives me
kids,
yeah,
rolling around the dirt. They're having a great time. Not stuff that we did because we were studying. And
actually, I probably did that. I don't know. I don't think I rolled it around. Anyways, whatever. So laundry is a huge thing. Making appointments is probably a very big thing. I procrastinate so bad.
Mm-hmm.
Especially even with my kids.
Mm-hmm.
Like checkups, I'm like, my kid's good.
My kids are behind in their shots.
Yep, my dogs, My dogs live at my mom's house.
It's been about 6 months. That's been on my to-do list.
Oh, same. Oh, actually, yeah.
Anyway, needless to say, the to-do list is
paralyzing.
Pretty crazy here. And there are things on here that have been on here for a week to the 2+ years, as I said.
5 weeks or 15?
That's 1.5.
Very exact.
It is 1 week, 3 days,
and
23 hours, 47 seconds. I'm just kidding.
I know.
Guys, I don't know if you could notice from that, but I was really trying hard not to say something stupid right there, because I am the type of person that'd be like, 3 days, 27 hours. It's like, bitch, there's only 24 hours in a day, okay?
That's funny.
Thank you.
Well, I have a second thing that would say give me money. So I got a new Sprint plan, and Sprint was like doing this deal. You got like $100 if you had a credit union, which I do, and then you also got $100 if you started a new line, and I did. Me and my best friend got a line together. Anyways, just because it would save us money, and we got new phones out of it. So hey, but yeah, that's probably, it's getting close to maybe like not being able to get them. But if you're watching this, Kel, we gotta go do that, okay?
Help a sister out. You gotta remind her.
But I do want to say this. I thought I was alone, that it was hindering me because of this, but I also see it in my best friend. And I mean, if she was here, she would say the same thing. But it's funny because I want to be like, hey, like if you did this, like, you know, like it's easy to me.
Yeah.
It's simple to me because that's not one of the things on my list. But to her, it's probably like me making my login so that I would save $108. That was supposed to be done 8 months ago. Like, you know what I mean?
So she has things that to you are simple. You should be able to easily get them done.
Right.
But you have things that she'd be like, Taylor, come on, what are you doing?
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's very individualistic, but still the overall concept applies.
Right.
Yeah.
And like, I almost want to be like, so do you want me to do that for you? Like, just like to help her in a sense, like, you know, like be a supporter.
Yeah.
But like, it's also like, it's not on my to-do list. So me adding more to my, but it's
and that probably is a real thing that we also take on other people's things. And
right. And like with my kids, like, I mean, that adds so much more pressure for me personally. Is like, they just add so much more things to do. They are walking things to do. Like, I feel like when they come to me, it's another thing. Like, legit, that's how I feel.
That's another piece of birth control for Alyse.
And then things that I need to do for myself, then I put back on a back burner, back on my list, because then I need to attend to their list.
Because you're being a good mom.
So, millennial burnout often works differently among women. I feel like that's a true statement, because you were talking about Manuel
being fine with his routine or whatnot, whereas with me it was really tearing at me.
But that might not be a thing that's on his list.
Right.
But it does work differently. So millennial burnout often works differently among women, and especially straight women with families. Part of this has to do with what's known as the second shift. The idea that women who've moved into the workplace to do the labor of a job and then come home and perform the labor of a homemaker. A recent study found that mothers in the workplace spend just as much time taking care of their children as stay-at-home moms did in 1975. One might think that when women work, the domestic labor decreases or splits between both partners, but sociologist Judy Walkman, I think, found that the heterosexual couples that simply wasn't the case. The labor that causes burnout isn't just putting away the dishes or folding the laundry, tasks that can be readily distributed among the rest of the family. It's more to do with what the French cartoonist Emma calls the mental load. That's true. Oh, I'm like...
Well, and that's why I say, like, me keeping my to-do list in my head is mentally, like, weighing me down. Whereas I truly believe if I were to write it down, it would at least... I tell this to the kids all the time.
That's true. So, like, me personally as well, if I had my to-do list of my household on a list, it might be affecting me differently.
Yes.
Because, like this says, we take the role of household management project leader.
Yep.
Like, we're the leader of the household, and we distribute the projects, but we have all the projects in our head.
Yep.
And then we're getting anxious and overwhelmed of the fact of what all the projects that need to be done. Like,
because you have to keep track and delegate. And
exactly. Like, my laundry may not be... Exactly. It's a job in itself. And I personally feel like I was talking to... I don't know who I was talking to about this. That I should distribute my duties to my children. Oh, was it you?
Well, I was mentioning that they should start doing
which more. I completely agree, and I told her though, it's more hassle for me mentally to tell them what to do,
and for them to do it wrong, and then you have to redo it
or correct it, or then teach them, or do this. Then for me to actually to perform the duty that needs to be done.
Yes. Yeah, that was me. We had that talk.
Oh, we did have that talk. You know, sometimes I just be talking to myself. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, this goes into not just parenting, but women thinking that we have to maintain sex lives, and I mean, within relationships and marriage, and that's another thing on the to-do list, and it becomes overwhelming.
Yeah.
And we feel like we cannot perform at all, so then we just don't.
Yep.
Or we just leave things on our list that could actually give us, $200.
Or you start to feel like you need to retire by the age of 35.
Right. Oh, man.
Yeah. Well, so I think what I gathered, though, from the end of this article, at least from Anne Helen Petersen, is that she is going to move forward in her life, at least being aware, right? And and having this at least self-awareness, should allow you to do things maybe differently. to make you feel better, to alleviate some of the pressure,
right,
to not get to that point where you do feel burned out.
Right. And know that you're not alone.
Well, we felt like we were alone. And so reading this article was really a fresh breath of air. And so if you want to read the article, we're definitely going to put the link with the video, so that way you can get on and do some reading. And in the article, it also references some other articles and whatnot. But we don't want you to feel alone. We don't want to feel alone.
Right.
So if you have something on your to-do list that has just really been burning you up, eating you alive, please share it with us so that way we don't feel alone either.
And we're going to encourage you through finishing it or not, girl.
Yes.
Finishing it or not. It's fine.
Yes.
Because ultimately at the end, these things don't matter.
Nope.
We're all going to be buried or cremated however you desire. It's not going to matter.
And
it's irrelevant.
This is absolutely terrible to say, but at some point, we all gonna be forgotten.
Yeah, but it's the truth. And for some people, I'm sorry, it's sad that if you lost a loved one, our condolences. But
this just got real dark real quick.
It's not dark. It could be light. It's whatever you view it as.
Okay. It's as dark as my nail polish right now, okay?
But
it's black.
Ultimately, you have people. You can talk to us if you don't. Don't feel alone.
No.
Because our greatest asset is that
we're fucking hard working, okay?
And it brings value, man.
And we don't...
And ultimately, it doesn't matter.
We don't care about burnout. Even though we're feeling it, we work through it.
Yep.
And you go keep on working, and you go do you. And
is this Shaniqua?
This is Shaniqua coming. I'm sorry.
In the first video, if you don't know, if you haven't seen it, Alyse has many
personalities.
Yes.
Yeah.
But she doesn't have a personality disorder.
No, not really.
Her voice. Oh no, you just have
voices.
Yes. But not
schizophrenic. I don't know. But hey, if I were, whatever. It is what it is. All right, y'all. Thank you so much.
Thanks for being here.
Watching, listening. And if you want to make sure that you are notified when our new videos come out, make sure you subscribe to our channel.
Right.
And follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Yes. And we will see you next Saturday with episode number 6. Was that a 2?